I think we'll leave the Rwanda shambles to the Westminster merry-go-round. We all know what went on this week. It just about got through the Commons. Incredibly, in my mind, it's not going to be debated in the House of Lords until February the 12th, and then they'll be kicking it around for 2 weeks. So it's going to be a long, drawn-out soap opera, folks. But this story, I find fascinating that the Home Office has hired an aircraft hangar and a fuselage of an aeroplane to enable security officials to practice forcibly removing migrants and putting them onto planes, by physical force. I mean, do you put much store by this, or is this electioneering? Look how tough we're getting on the migrants, or what do you make of it?
It's hard not to see it as some sort of publicity stunt from the government. Certainly it looks like they're putting the cart before the horse. I have serious doubts as to whether the Rwanda plan will ever get off the ground.
Well-founded doubts.
I'm pretty sure that a YouGov poll found only 1% of the British public thought that Rwanda would work and be a significant deterrent to the people smugglers. Nonetheless, I suppose the Home Office would not want to be in a situation where it hadn't run through various processes and protocols and found itself in, by some miracle, a situation where it was able to send flights to Kigali but couldn't because staff hadn't been fully briefed and prepped.
Do you think this is being rolled out essentially to get some headlines because Sunak's now facing letters of no confidence, that old chestnut?
Well, the problem facing, there's so many problems facing the Conservative Party now, unfortunately, but whatever Rishi Sunak seems to try and do, his polling either remains sticky or it seems to go down. His personal approval rating has absolutely plummeted. We had Jeremy Hunt this week saying that there will be tax cuts at the March budget, and even that isn't moving the dial for the Conservatives. And I suspect that Rishi Sunak is thinking, well, Rwanda really is all that I've got now. I have to try it and show the British public that
He doesn't even like the policy. Let's talk about his oppo, Keir Starmer, who's basically is on a tour right now trying to prove that he's vaguely human. Not that successful, but he will, by the way, everybody, be on TalkSport tomorrow morning because he's an avid Arsenal fan, and he's coming into TalkTV Towers to be on TalkSport to talk about ahead of Arsenal's match against Crystal Palace. That's the sporting news. But he was on ITV last night talking about Jeremy Corbyn. Let's have a little look at Keir in action.
I didn't think the Labour Party was in a position to win the last election. I didn't obviously vote for Jeremy Corbyn in 2015 or 2016. On the contrary, I resigned.
You travelled across the country to argue for him.
I thought that once that 2016 Brexit referendum had happened, I took the view that what then followed in the next few years was going to be felt for generations, and that I thought it was my responsibility to play a full part in that.
Oh, Lego head. They don't really grill him like they do anyone else, do they? Because he doesn't need much taking down. There's just no charisma with that man.
But what he's saying there, though, is he never believed in Jeremy Corbyn, but went round saying Jeremy Corbyn must be the next Prime Minister. So what you're going to get with Keir Starmer is a man who's capable of being completely fraudulent.
I think he's a man who doesn't seem to have much of a guiding philosophy or ideology, who will bend with the wind and be guided by what the polls are saying, what he thinks will make him popular. Look, this is absolutely his general election to lose. It would be a terrible humiliation for him, even if there was a hung parliament now, because the expectation is that Labour will have some kind of landslide victory. I'm very glad, by the way, you didn't ask me to comment on Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. That's definitely not the kind of commentary I'd be able to.
I'm rooting for
Palace.
It's
a small talk. He constantly comes in and says, no, Fulham, and I'm just like, oh, shut up.
My team is Fulham.
But what's very uncomfortable for Keir Starmer, of course, is that he served on Jeremy Corbyn's shadow front bench, and that just simply isn't something that he can worm his way out.
Shadow Brexit secretary, the man who tried to get a second referendum. I mean,
he's a classic example of a politician. I have opinions, but if you don't like them, I have others. Simple as that.